Hello fellow tankers, bonjour amis tankistes. In this video I will present you a short tutorial on the domination version number 2 of the Mozdok map, which is an horizontal map in the sense that the three caps are aligned and at equal distance from the two pair of spawns. Very often on this kind of maps like Korea or Tunisia, I advise you to concentrate on two connected caps. On this map is so wide that unfortunately it's really difficult to fight for more than one cap at a time. And for this reason, I really advise you to fight for the most important cap, and on this map there is no question, this is C. So my advice is that you go wide, as you will see in the gameplays, to go to C from both sides, and once you control C, you can essentially snipe almost all over the map. Obviously in high BR with fast shell that would be easier, but even in lower BR. And in particular, you can exploit the area where the B cap is in the traditional version of the Mozdok map, as you will see in the first gameplay. I will present you a gameplay from the south side, followed by a gameplay, or at least an excerpt of a gameplay from the north side. So my big advice is go to C and snipe. This map is not very exciting. Alternatively, from the red side, it is actually possible to fast cap a B. It's dangerous but feasible. From the blue side, my advice is simply don't try to go toward B, especially in the start of the game. That's almost suicidal. But A is actually favorable to the blue side, to the south side, and especially if you exploit the hill over there, you will be able to approach A and to fight the red tanks, which would be in this area, and ultimately to cap A. Actually, this area, and ultimately if you move a bit toward this area and toward B, this area is actually probably the best area to attack B from the blue side. Again, the direct approach is suicidal, whereas if you come between A and B and ultimately put some pressure toward B, it's actually possible to exploit the terrain to ultimately cap B. But again, on this map, my advice is to attack C and snipe from C, understanding that on this map many players, if not most players, will essentially snipe almost from their spawn, which is obviously not very thrilling. So I am playing in squad from the south side, and with my squad mate with a very strange name, which I never know how to pronounce, we are going to C, while my two other squad mates are concentrating on A, essentially following the advice that you had in the introduction of this video. As you can see, I'm going really wide to the right, which is to avoid being sniped from the enemy spawn, which is actually quite possible at this BR, where most tanks have in tier 6 and we see also in tier 7, many tanks have a laser rangefinder, which helps you to make a very long range shots. So my squad mate is capping C. Let me mention that on this map, one of the reasons this map is not very interesting is that many players, if not most, essentially stay in spawn to snipe, not even moving. As you can see on the map, a lot of our teammates are essentially in spawn, and it's the same for the enemy team. Therefore you don't see all the tanks in the enemy team. So I will start. So here actually making an error. I will accelerate a bit. My tank, as you can see, I'm struggling a bit with my gun depression, and I should have gone to my second sniping position that I will exploit a bit later. Sorry. And I'm staying a bit too long in this position, but still, despite my bad gun depression, I will kill this Swedish IKV. This Leopard turned just before I shot. And slowly but surely I will approach the best sniping position. Again, I stayed too long. Let me accelerate. Sorry again, this gameplay will not be the most thrilling, but it's really a map which does this. And I'm starting to come in the area where B is in the classical version of the Mozdok map. Let me accelerate. I'm taking a plane that will essentially do nothing. And here I come. So this position is essentially the position that the east side would take after taking B in the main domination map, in the domination number 1 map, the classical map. I really encourage you to watch my main tutorial for this classical version to understand that this position is absolutely crucial for the east side once they have taken the cap, the B cap. And as you can see at this stage, the enemy team will not get out of their spawn. You notice that they essentially never try to come to C, which is obviously a mistake. Let me accelerate. So generally it's again a map where you don't make that many kills simply because very often the two teams barely leave their spawn, except a few active players. And after taking this bomber, I will not see another enemy because I'm too far from the enemy spawn, and I will stop this gameplay, illustrating that this battle was definitely won by 4 active players, 2 concentrating on C and 2 concentrating on B, and while, as you can see, the other players, much more static players, and very often camping from spawn, had very little impact. And as you can see, it's even worse for the enemy team, with essentially the entire enemy team without kill except for 1 player. But that's really something typical of this map, which again is not interesting for me because essentially there is too much sniping from spawn. And not only that, but you cannot communicate very effectively between 2 caps. So this time I'm playing from the north side, and I'm playing by 7.7 Italian lineup, starting with this AUBL Premium, which was an event tank I'm playing with RNG, which is coming to the cap with his surbessé, and I think that we are quite up-tiered. Let me check. No, not yeah, 8.3. Obviously, this AUBL, which is honestly quite mediocre tank, but is actually fast enough so that I take an almost direct route to C. So let me accelerate for the capping of C. And you notice that RNG is also coming to C. He has by now realized, like me, that this map is controlled from C, and that C is by far the most important cap. As you can see, essentially I'm shooting almost toward the spawn, or the exit of the spawn, of the red spawn. Like in the other battle, unfortunately I'm hampered by the fact that this AUBL has 0 gun depression. And we see before sniping you have to defend the cap and prevent the enemy to occupy this very powerful position. So you notice that despite the fact that all the rest of our team is extremely static, you see, not leaving the cap, and the fact that the red side, the enemies are capping A. Again, I mentioned that A is favorable to the red side. Quite a few people in our team came with RNG and myself to C, and that will be obviously a big factor in our victory. Unfortunately, I didn't kill this DF-105, and unfortunately here I thought that I was aiming correctly, but I actually shot in the ground, and I will be killed, I think, by this tiger. So at the time of this gameplay, I was grinding the new Italian VBC tier 6, and so I am exploiting the fact that this AUBL is premium, and I'm taking backup, also exploiting the fact that this is a fast tank, which will allow me to fast cap B, which is definitely doable, as you can see, from B, from the north side, but which is extremely difficult to do from the south side. And let me mention again that from the south side, my advice is to come from here and explode this terrain here to go toward B. You see the terrain on my right in the lower ground, which will allow the south side to indeed come to the neighborhood of B. So here I wanted to go toward A. Unfortunately, the Kugel Blitz saw me behind me, and obviously instantly killed me. But meanwhile, the enemy team came back in force to C, so we are losing C, and I'm respawning in my OF-40, and you notice that RNG God is also coming back to C. think that as I am going to see, my allies already eliminated all the enemies. And again, I will exploit this hill. You can also exploit the area of A where I was earlier to snipe. The area of B, sorry, in the classical Mozdok map where I was earlier in the other gameplay. But again, now that we have recaptured C, you see that the enemy is essentially stuck in their spawn. So really sorry again for not very thrilling gameplays, but again it's really the fault of this map, and I think I will kill this tiger, which is a bit lost in the middle of the field. No, I didn't kill it. At this point I think I will lose a bit of patience and try to get a bit closer to the last few enemies which are still alive. I think that by now I will actually stop the gameplay. I'll have 2 more kills if I am not mistaken, and I'll just show you the final scoreboard. So I thank you for watching, and I'm again sorry for this not very thrilling tutorial, but the lesson of this quite boring map is that you should go to see to win it and snipe until you pass to the next battle, hopefully. Thank you for watching. See you on the battlefield. À bientôt sur le champ de bataille.